Hey guys, I'm Jason and this is Buy, Build, Sell. Today we're here at Fiske starting our foundation. The things we're going to talk about today is survey, forming, foundation, and soil. We were lucky enough to get our soils engineer here while we were filming so he can kind of briefly describe to you what we have to do and how we're doing it. But you're going to get a pretty detailed, hopefully in-depth experience as to what we're doing and how we do it and how we start a project from the beginning. Most people don't believe me, but the truth is I've been doing this for 11 years now, and I started as a laborer. So yeah, I know how to work. You demo a house, how are you supposed to know where to put the house? So you build a brand new house, who's telling you where to put it where? You just go based on a plan? Are you going based on your assumption of where the corner should be? Or, you know, oh, is it from the house next door? Is it from a tree location? What are you using to base that location off of? I'll tell you. We hire surveyors to come and actually geotag the locations so we know exactly where we're measuring from, and they tell us exactly where our building corners are gonna be. I call it a building envelope. They come and they mark 4 corners of the property for me. So they give me my property corners, and then they give me 4 corners that give me the envelope of the house. It doesn't necessarily mean it's giving me the exact location where to put my form. It's giving me 5-foot offsets on all 4 corners of the property. And if you can see, we have right here our string line, right? Which is dictating that exact point, right? And it has those offsets right there. You'll see a stake. It says 5-foot building corner envelope, right? And it'll mark elevation locations for me. It'll mark a whole bunch of information to make sure that I'm placing my foundation exactly where it needs to go. Let's go check out the back. You're probably not wondering, but that's because you're not stepping over that gaping hole right in the middle. But that location right there is for a future fireplace. And here's another example of those string lines giving us that building corner. You can see that the reason we call it an envelope is it's not actually the exact corner. It's giving us an envelope reference, which then allows us to measure from this envelope, however many feet going this way to get to the corner where we actually need it to be. We actually try to keep as many of the trees as possible from the existing property. A lot of the times we have to demo a lot of the trees that are on site, but we really try to keep as much as possible to keep the property looking as natural and existing as possible and give it more of a unique distinction. Now what you're seeing here, that's how we test our elevation of the forms, how we test the elevation of the house. And we basically set up our elevation marker right there with that spinning laser. And that dictates to that machine right there where our form is going to set. So on a project like this is what I call a production-based home. This is a really simple home. There's not that much custom details going into the home. It's a standard build, which means we're probably gonna be here for 6 to 8 months at a maximum. That doesn't mean that the quality or the type of home won't be custom, because everything I build is custom. The details in the home will be a custom finish. But the floor plan is very similar to other houses I've built here. You know, a lot of the kind of questions that come up, there's really no questions because we built this house. I've built over 30 homes just in the Alphabet Streets, which is where we are right now. So it's not uncommon for me to just kind of be like, I know what I'm building here. We're gonna build it, and it's just same kitchen, different detail, right? So with these types of homes, there's not too much guessing going on. My favorite part about building is probably the process. Everything from how to do things that we're doing to watching things be produced, meaning, you know, seeing a house, watching it go away, watching us build a form, watching us pour concrete, watching us frame, all of these elements, just every single stage of the game is just exciting for me. I always, post a Instagram post saying this is my favorite part, but I'm not lying. It's just every stage ends up being my favorite part. So for me, being an artist myself, watching production, watching how things are created, and genuinely creating is really my favorite part of the whole process. We are standing on a 5,200 square foot lot that I purchased for $2,175,000. The house was, I think, under 1,000 square feet, about 900 something. Stood very low and was gone pretty quickly. It took about 2 days for us to demo, clear the lot, grade it, and get us ready for a surveyor. I'll take you through what we're doing right now to prepare for our footings and our foundation, and kind of show you the steps that we're taking after demo. You've seen us demo Radcliffe, and now you're going to see what those next steps look like here on Fiske. A little stats to go through. So this is a 5,200 square foot lot. It's going to house a 3,400 square foot house on it with a 5-bedroom, I believe 5.5 bath. It's a pretty standard white picket fence type home. You'll see the design on the billboard that we posted there, so you can kind of see, what it'll look like. The expected exit price is just going to be over $4 million. So look out for that coming up in about 6 to 8 months, somewhere around there. Okay, let me take you through the project. So we spoke to an expert here, a soils engineer, Juan Vidal, about this project. You're gonna be looking at this going, wow, that's really unique, this is huge footings. The reason we're doing bigger footings here, we skipped a process called R&R, which is removal and recompaction. What that does is it takes out dirt and recompacts the dirt to make it a solid base for footings. We skipped that process and went with a deeper footing process to just keep the project moving forward. So we're going deeper into the ground to get to a solid base. That way we don't have any issues with our foundation. And if you don't believe me, check out this video of Juan talking about it.
Yeah, my name is Juan Vidal. I'm here to check the footing excavations to make sure that the depth and spur plans, foundation plans, to make sure they're in competent materials. So once they pour their footings and they build a house, that makes sure everything's good and they're not gonna have any settlement issues. But here to make sure that you're not an old fill and you're not native soils, and the native soils needs to be competent native soils, not porous soils that are prone to hydro consolidation, because then you'll have settlement. So we don't have any fill here and the footings look good. You don't see any porosity in the soils. The soils look good. So
the likelihood of my house falling down is
very little.
Okay. So what we have here, I'll jump over into this section here. So what I'm standing in right now is actually the garage. So we have a 2x12 form going around the whole entire property, mostly around the whole entire property. It's gonna come around and bring us in. Right now, it doesn't really matter what the floor plan is because you can't tell, it's not built. But we're standing in the garage. We have a jog into the front entryway. So we'll have a nice little porch section here, walking into our front door. We have all of our trenches prepared for our plumbing. So you actually are going to see us connect our plumbing to our sewer line now, so we're not dealing with that later. There's very little light electrical work that has to be done during the foundation stage. We're only gonna be running one conduit from the side of the house to the island in the center of the kitchen. And that's pretty much all we're really doing for our electrical work on this. What you're gonna see is we're gonna finish our forms, get our rebar done. Our soil's been tested, so we're approved for that. We're gonna get our rebar done. We'll get that approved, and we'll either do one or two options. We can do a monolithic pour or a 2-system pour. Sometimes we pour our footings first, then we prep our top, and then we pour our slab. I usually like to do a monolithic pour because it allows us to prepare everything in one shot, pour it in one shot, and we can get right into framing. It's a little bit of a faster method, but the first method can save you a little bit of money in concrete. Catch-22, right? Are you more interested in speed or more interested in cost? For me, I'm both. Don't question it. Efficient.